heard the saying, what gets you here doesn't get you there. Many business owners and leaders rise through business and get to a point where they want to get to the next level in business, but just can't seem to move through to that easily. I coach some really talented people who have maybe created multi-million pound turnover businesses or are in senior roles in large corporate organisations, and they still find that there are some situations, projects or people that they find difficult to deal with. Despite being really competent, they just can't quite work out how to shift the needle on some things. And the reason for this is because the way that they're thinking and the way that they operated up to now has got them here, but what it doesn't do is get them easily to the next level. And so today I'm going to share with you why this is. It's something that not many people are aware of, and I'm going to share with you today how you can rewire your brain to improve your results to get to that next level faster and easier. Hi, I'm Leanne Bridges, and I help business owners and leaders to reach their business goals faster and easier by reprogramming their thoughts so that they tap into their ultimate, their peak performance. So to help me explain this, if you imagine now your mind as a piece of computer software, right from when you're born, you're installing programs into it as you learn new things. And this means then that you don't need to think through everything that you need to do in life. It makes us really efficient as human beings. So for example, you wake up each morning and you don't need to decide what to do. Instinctively, you know what you need to do when you get up. You don't need to decide to brush your teeth. You know just to do that, don't you? Now, the reason that we do this is so that we can function easily as human beings. So we learn these patterned ways to do things. What many people don't realise is that we also learn patterned reaction to things and patterned behaviour for how we'll approach a situation or a person or decisions in our life. We're actually running on autopilot for 95% of our life. That's why you could be driving your car, talking to the person in the passenger seat next to you, drinking a cup of coffee and still react to the red light. For the majority of that, you're just doing it. You're running on patterns without any deliberate thoughts or decision making. And what people don't realise is that you program most of these patterns, the software in your brain, before you're 7. So there are many programs that you've learned, like all sorts of things as a child, that as an adult just don't make sense, like for you to think or believe anymore, and they're not serving you now with what you're trying to achieve. Something that's very common, like certainly in my generation, is the belief that children should be seen and not heard. Now, you may or may not relate to that, but if you were taught this as a child, that you should be seen and not heard, what you might find as an adult is that when you need to speak out about something, your brain will go to that belief before you speak. Like very quickly, automatically, you won't notice it. So you'll think about saying something, and then for what appears to be no reason, you'll not want to say what you've got on your mind. Logically, you know you should say it. You know you can say it. In fact, you probably know people need you to say it, but nevertheless, you'll find that you hold back. It's because your program is outdated. So what people find when they're trying to reach the next level in business is that there are some mental blocks, some limiting thoughts and feelings that stand between them knowing that they need to do something and actually doing it. So to change this, they have to upgrade those programs, those patterned thoughts. And that's why many people come and work with me. They know that something is making it all seem hard work, and logic tells them that it shouldn't be. The thing is, people have blind spots to what's actually causing the problem. It's just never what you think it is. Clients will often tell me that they've got an idea about where this stems from, and it rarely is the reason. So to change your program thoughts and feelings, you actually need to change your neural pathways in your brain. And if you're not familiar with them, then neural pathways are like interconnecting roads that connect different parts of your brain and body. And the more you use a neural pathway, the stronger it becomes. So to change your thoughts and feelings, you need to create new neural pathways that will support the behaviour that you actually want, so that you can easily change from what it is that you're actually doing now that's not working so well for you. So let me share with you how this worked for one of my clients. He was finding it really difficult to address conversations with his team when he wanted to give them feedback about their performance and improvements he might like them to make. And so either he avoided addressing the situation at all, avoided the conversation, or he was having them, but they weren't landing as well as he wanted. And so he wasn't seeing the performance changes that he really needed to happen, and it all felt really difficult. Now, when we got to the root cause, he was going into that conversation thinking that it would be difficult, and then assuming that it was likely to become confrontational. So he was subconsciously prepared for a difficult conversation, a confrontation. And if you show up ready for a confrontation or a difficult conversation, then your body and your mind will be prepared. Imagine now you're going to a meeting and you're expecting it to be difficult. Just let yourself get mentally ready for that now. And notice what that does to your body when you think that. You might notice that you start to get tense, or your heart rate increases, and maybe you've got shallower breath. You're already defensive. And of course, this means that conversations could easily then become confrontations. Whereas if you were going into that situation relaxed and curious and open-minded, that would lead to a different conversation. Now, with this client, we upgraded his programming, and in our following coaching session, just 2 weeks later, he's telling me those conversations were really straightforward. They felt easy. It's because we changed how he was showing up, and I can help clients get results like this in just one session. I think we get to the point where we think that this is just the way that we are now, how we are at this point will never change. People often say, oh, I'm too old to change now. The thing is, the human brain has got incredible capacity to change. There's neuroplasticity within our brain that means that it can change and adapt over time, and that you can create new neural pathways and connections when you're given the right training and help to do it in the right way. And when people want to make these sorts of changes, they often will seek out a business coach or a leadership coach or some other training to try and learn some new information or some strategies. But the reason I'm so passionate about delivering peak performance coaching is because using my methods and approaches, not only can we determine a new strategy or an approach together that will work, but you also will follow through on that strategy and actually make the change you want. And my clients regularly experience becoming incredibly focused, becoming more productive, assertive, influential, and find that they improve relationships with their team. They move situations along that maybe they might have been wondering for some time, maybe even years, how to progress, how to move forward on. And I've had clients who've become better with sales and marketing and putting themselves out there. Ultimately, they become more profitable and feel a really strong sense of self-belief and determination and motivation, and let go of any stress that they might have been feeling. And people say to me regularly when we first meet, oh, I've had coaching, but it didn't work, or I've had training on that and it's just not made much progress. That's because they learned to do something new, but they had an internal resistance to actually doing it. It's really common for people to try and change their behaviour when they want new results. So, for example, if you procrastinate a lot, then you might find that you're short of time. And so you might look at some time management courses or try a new way of creating your to-do lists or some different planning methods. What you actually need to do is change your thoughts and feelings so that you stop procrastinating, you stop holding back, which gives you more time because you're taking action faster. You don't need a new system, you need a new way of thinking, and therefore you start to behave in a different way, in a productive way. Your thoughts and feelings are what's driving your automatic behaviour. So once you change these, then you'll more naturally change your behaviour, because 95% of what we do in any day comes from our learned patterns of behaviour, or automatic patterns, and we're actually running most of our life on some outdated patterned ways of thinking. Getting real change comes from identifying the old patterns that aren't serving you anymore and creating new patterns that lead to behaviours and the outcomes that we actually want. Peak performance coaching is a powerful tool for business owners and senior leaders who want to improve their performance and achieve greater success and live a life that's calm, where they feel inner peace, resilient, and ultimately fulfilled. By changing your automatic patterns, you can change your behaviours and achieve the results that you want, and in fact the results that you really deserve. If you'd like to know how I can help you, then just DM me or email me at leanne@leannebridges.com.